right. Robin, can you hear me good?
I can hear you.
Perfect, perfect. Well, for one, I just want to say I'm so excited to be back for Tuesday Talks. Like,
I know.
it wasn't a full year, but it feels like a full year.
How long was it?
I think our last one was in like November.
Okay, so a year.
Which in this time frame is really like 2.5 years. So
in the panorama.
In the panorama, time is relative, and this is where we are. But I want to welcome you and all of our guests back to join us today for our very special edition of Tuesday Talks, Meet the ED, where we are so excited to introduce to some and reintroduce to many others our new Executive Director and Vice President, Ms. Robin Ford. Insert the applause.
Thank you, thank you.
Just because we've been gone so long, I'm going to make sure to do a little bit of housekeeping first. So people probably don't even know who I am anymore. I'm Brianna Harrington. I serve at City Year Memphis as the Development Operations Coordinator. And I am thrilled to be back with you guys, like I said, on this special edition of Tuesday Talks, bringing you our new ED and Vice President. If you're not familiar with City Year Memphis, we are an education-focused nonprofit. We are also an AmeriCorps program, and so what we do is we recruit, train, and deploy young people to do a year of service in their communities, and they do that service in schools. Another little bit of housekeeping, because it's going to happen. You're going to see this, and these are my silent applause, because I know that I'm going to be so excited and moved, and I'll be doing this. And you're like, what is that? This is just my way of encouraging Robin as she shares with us today without interrupting her. Also, you guys may have noticed, we did have another panelist. He's going to stay with his camera off today, but that is Richard Mead, our Community Partnerships Manager, and he is going to be manning our chat for us today. So as always, you guys know that we want to engage you. We want to hear from you, your comments, questions, well wishes. And so we encourage you to put those in the chat. That way, when we go to question and answer, Richard is going to share those with us and read them out aloud for us. So, Robin, can you tell the people, because they've seen you before, or they've seen you in the chat definitely before.
Probably in the chat.
Definitely in the chat. Robin was very much engaged in there. Would you like to tell the folks a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, first, thank you so much, Brianna, for inviting me on your Tuesday Talk show. Super excited to go into what I think will be the third season. But good afternoon or good early evening, everyone. My name is Robin Ford, and I proudly serve as the Executive Director for City Year Memphis. I have been with the site since 2016, so you have likely engaged with me in some way since I've been here since the very beginning. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. A huge shout out to my hometown and anybody who is watching from the great state of South Carolina. And go ahead and put in the chat if you think that South Carolina is the South or the North, because my colleagues would tease me about it. So I'm not going to influence your answers, but go ahead and put that in the chat. But I am once again from Columbia, South Carolina, and that is where I began my City Year journey. I started with City Year Columbia as an impact manager, which means that I managed a team of AmeriCorps members in schools during their service year. I did that for 2 years, and then I moved to Memphis in 2016 when City Year Memphis was announced as the newest site. So I worked as the operations manager, people and operations manager, development manager, development director, interim executive director, and then finally, on my last stop for now at least, executive director for City Year Memphis. So I love City Year. Obviously, I am dedicated to this work that we're doing. It's so important. But even more importantly, I am in love with Memphis. I made Memphis home in 2016, and I'm excited to engage with the city and with our stakeholders in this new way.
Thank you, Robin. Yeah, you definitely have had quite the city year journey. And even as we talk about your start in Columbia and how you just took off and brought that all that energy and that gusto and that drive and intent to Memphis. I'm just like so excited for you to be able to tell the story of your transition. Like you said, you've worn so many hats. And the first thing I could think of was just leadership development. Like it's not really a it's not a common thing where people are able to say, I did this, and look, I've been able to wear all these hats and do all this stuff successfully in this organization.
Can I just add that yes, but number two, just a huge thank you to our founding year executive director and vice president, Dr. Catherine Cushenberry, for many things. The list is too long to even begin, but what I'm thinking of specifically is how she saw something in me. We had our initial conversation in 2017, and this is when we didn't have our office yet. We were in the TLA off of Union Avenue. A huge shout out to the TLA and Shelby County Schools for the love and support that they continue to show us. But I remember Catherine asking me, like, what were my hopes and dreams? And she just really got to it. And I remember being insecure, unsure of my next steps. I couldn't articulate what I wanted next. I was literally just riding the wave and hopeful that a supervisor would say, well, have you considered this? But she remembered that conversation, and she is the reason why I'm in this position now. She remembered that I mentioned that I really enjoyed having cultivation conversations with people. And when the development director was transitioning out, she was like, well, Robin said that she did enjoy this. So she asked me if I would be willing to kind of dip my toe in Devo. And so long story short, she saw something in me. And of course, timing was on my side, but I'm so thankful to be in this seat, Brianna.
Awesome. Thank you, Robin. So I guess as we talk about you and your new role, looking ahead in this year, what can we expect, or what are you really excited about in your new role with City Year Memphis?
Yeah, I don't want to take it lightly that I've been working with you all for a number of years. And of course, I've been here since the beginning. But I say that to say, during the first 30, 60, 90 days, I'm going to be learning, listening. I plan to have one-on-one conversations with all staff members, and I've actually started that. And I plan to ask the same set of questions. What are your hopes? What's working well? What is not? And so I'm going to be doing a lot of listening. I don't want to come in and immediately start changing things. I do want to work towards some of the things that we've already put in place. But I want to underscore that the first 90 days at least will be me learning and listening before I start implementing new changes. But what I'm really excited about is working with all staff members in this new way. I'm also excited to work more closely with our school partners, with our funded partners, to learn what their hopes are, what they want from a partnership with City Year Memphis. I'm excited about deepening our relationships in schools and hopefully moving more toward a feeder pattern so that our students see us in the elementary school, and then we follow them to the middle, and then we follow them to the high school. So that's just a few things that I'm really excited about. But I think more than anything else will be the learning journey that I'm on.
Awesome. And you did share a little bit about some of our partners that we'll be working with this year. I know we have some new partners. Would you like to share where folks will be seeing us in some new spaces this year?
Oh, I hope I don't forget any. So Brianna, jump in. Brianna is our, like she mentioned, development operations coordinator, and she has just been, for lack of a better term, killing it, building relationships. But some of our new partners we're excited about: Bank of America, with the workforce development support from them. We also have the Grizzlies, the team. So if you all have been following us since the beginning of Tuesday Talks, then you know that we partner with the Grizzlies Foundation, but we're excited to add the Grizzlies team to our list of funded partners. And so, you know, our red jackets, I'm wearing the zip up, the fleece zip up is what I think we call it. But if you've seen our core members, they rock our red jackets. And so our core members will have a Grizzlies logo on their red jackets. We are so excited to have the Grizzlies added to a more visible sponsorship with us. So look out for those red jackets. And then we also have, I don't know if we mentioned AutoZone in the last segment of Tuesday Talk episodes, but AutoZone, also excited to have a sponsorship from a local partner headquartered in Memphis. And I feel like I'm missing somebody, but I don't know if we've mentioned Taco Bell. So they also fund us for workforce development as well. Brianna, who am I missing? And please forgive me for those I am missing.
I don't think you might be missing some. My thought, I'm thinking about our new school partners.
Oh,
because we're in some new schools this year.
We are. Okay, so thank you to our school partners. We still have a wait list of school partners who are looking to work with us. This year, we're excited to partner with Aurora Collegiate Elementary, Freedom Prep, Westwood and Whitehaven, Journey Community Schools and Journey Handley and Journey Coleman, and then of course, Fraser Community Schools, who we've been working with since our startup year, and Westside and Humes Middle.
Yes. So awesome. We've been so excited and by the opportunity to expand into more schools. We've even realized, and some of you guys might know this, but some of our City Year Memphis alum are actually now teacher residents and teaching in those schools. And we are now moving in and bringing City Year Memphis to those schools for the first year. So this is super exciting for us and for our alum to be able to see City Year Memphis in their schools, perhaps have City Year Memphis in their classrooms. So this is a really, really exciting year for us. And as we talk a little bit about the year and our partners, let's talk a little bit about our core. Some people might not know, but our service year is just now getting started. And so we've got some updates about our current core, our newest FY22.
Yes, thank you, Brianna, for kicking that off. Thank you to our currently serving AmeriCorps members who made the decision to not only serve, but serve in the best city at the best site in Memphis, #Choose901. So like Brianna mentioned, and I'm sure this is not a surprise to many of you who are watching, but recruitment has been an uphill battle. We know that our school partners are still looking to fill positions, as are we. But I'm excited to announce that our goal is to have 50 AmeriCorps members this year. We're at about 37, 38. And so 7 core members started recently this Monday, and we still have rolling admissions. So I think Richard is prepped to drop the link in the chat for those of you who are between the ages of 18 and 25 years old who are looking for an experience like no other, looking to serve the Memphis community, build a strong relationship with students, and just #make better happen during the school year. And so we are still looking to fulfill that 50 AmeriCorps members, and our next start date is October 18th. So you still have time to put in an application, apply, and serve with City Year Memphis.
And if you guys are wondering or have any questions about where you can find that information, how you can keep up with us, you can visit our website, as Robin said, www.cityyearmemphis.org/Memphis, or is it // in the back? Look, it's a //Memphis. And also, you guys are already one step ahead because you're following us and you're here with us right now on Facebook. So you're following us on Facebook. We're also on Instagram at City Year Memphis. If you just have questions, you can always slide in our DMs with questions, comments, concerns. If you want to get connected to someone in our recruitment team and recruitment and admissions, we'll definitely take care of that for you and help you with that as well. And as Robin mentioned, we have a new serving corps. We, just like many City Year sites, we actually just completed BTA, which is actually Basic Training Academy, where our core members are trained so that they can get the tools that they need to be successful in schools. And then they actually, after that, went into professional development and training with their actual school teams and their school sites. So they are off just getting started, basically. And I know that you guys are probably like, well, wait, we haven't had opening day. We haven't heard you talk about that yet. It's coming, don't worry. You can always look forward to opening day being sometime in September. And so we will be sharing some updates, some exciting updates about that soon as well. And also I'm gonna check with Richard. Richard, if you wanna let us know, are there any questions in the chat or any comments that we should check in on? And I'm actually checking here. And I just got a message from Richard. We don't have any yet, so that's good. We can still keep going. So Robin,
I was just gonna say, can you tell the people what is opening day?
Oh, yeah, thank you. So opening day is our opening service event to kick off and let everyone in the city of Memphis know that City Year Memphis is into service. So what it typically looks like is perhaps a large event where we do an awesome service project with one of our partners in the city. It might be beautification, it might just be painting, it could be anything. And we'll have some of our City Year Memphis champions to come and support. Someone from our board typically makes an opening like welcome and really just revitalizes the core and gets them energized and fired up for service this year, that year. Last year, as you guys may have remembered, we did not do an in-person event, obviously, for obvious reasons. So what we did was an opening week on social media, which was dedicated, we dedicated a day of that week to our different stakeholders and partners. They participated, our board members participated. We had an awesome drive-up event where our partner from Starbucks at the time came and handed out some amazing goodies, and our core members got their red jackets. So it was a pretty engaging event that way. And so this year we might do something different, but we're still in the planning stages. So we will share that with you guys soon. But just keep your eyes open, keep your calendars open. But we're still in the planning stages. Opening day in September. Share that with you guys soon. But just keep your eyes open, keep your calendars. There we go. I think there was a slight delay there. So yeah, opening day in September. Just keep your calendars open. And make sure that you stay tuned to our social media so that you can not only see what we're doing, but you can see how to be involved and engage and, you know, get our core fired up and get fired up with them. Robin, did I leave anything out?
That was perfect.
Thanks. Okay, so I've got a question, Robin. Are you ready?
I think so.
I think you are. You're always ready, of course. Hello. Here we are.
Got my pen ready, like
Got
I'm in an interview.
Okay, so you shared that our former ED, Dr. Cushenberry, was so instrumental in your professional development and helping you to identify and articulate your goals. And so, as we know, that in the workplace can be a bit of a, not a task, but a challenge. It takes some effort, it takes some intention to identify those things. But also what we've talked about a couple times before, and we continue to talk about, is imposter syndrome, right? Is stepping over the imposter syndrome, or the idea that you may not be able to step up and show up in the role in the way that you envision and desire. So Robin, how did you not only step over it, but just squash it and step into this new role?
Yeah, I don't know about squashing it. That's why I made that facial expression. A few things, Brianna. I think the first one would be I have embraced vulnerability. That is something that I would run from before, like a month ago, if I'm being honest. But it has allowed me to embrace that uncomfortable feeling. And so I seek out the challenge zone more. And of course, like some of the things that I felt like I struggled with before, I always thought, well, you have to be born with it. And I just wasn't. And so I just kind of never even tried to show up to spaces like some of the people that were my role models. But once I realized that confidence is actually a skill, I'm like, oh, it's an even playing field. I can just build this muscle. So I would literally jot down a list, think about the things that made me uncomfortable, and I started doing them more. So I won't get into the deets, but that is definitely number one. I think number two would be knowing what your triggers are, and I'm speaking to myself. So just knowing what my triggers are, then I was able to bring in those reinforcements. So whether it was listening to podcasts to start my day off, something really positive to get me in that high vibrational stage, or having my vision board, like if I'm sitting right here during the day for my meetings, I can see my vision board, and at the top of it, it has a picture that's a power stance. And it's just a constant reminder to show up and hit that power stance when you need to feel empowered. And then I think the last thing would be just sharing. I guess it would go back to number one, just being vulnerable. You understand and you hear from others who face the same internal battles. And it's important because it can sometimes feel like you're on an island and isolated in whatever struggle it is. But when you know that, like, wait, my role model is also having imposter syndrome, girl, let's talk about this and tell me how because I can't tell. And it's just really important to have those conversations, even if you feel like you're at the bottom of the ladder and your goal is to get to the top. Like, just being transparent, because there may be somebody who's right beside you who needs to hear an example of someone who is persevering. And so once again, it's just important to embrace vulnerability and share those testimonies.
Okay, Robin. So okay. Sharing your testimonies, embracing your vulnerability.
Not the notebook.
Pulled out the notebook, because yes, dropping gems. Okay. Which, I'm so excited for us to be back. This just feels like we're back at home with Tuesday Talks, dropping gems. This is what we do. So I'm so excited. But you're right. I mean, and I think that I really appreciate what you shared about just being like comfortable in sharing your testimonies and sharing those things that you're interested in, because like you said, I may be thinking about this and another person may be thinking about this, and we're both sitting right next to each other, harping in our minds on how we can possibly get over or get to the next step, not knowing that we could actually be thought partners. Because we're sitting here thinking the exact same thing. And I think that people tend to, by default, when they want to, like when they have a goal, by default, they tend to hold on to it really tightly and they don't want to share it with other people. You don't want to you don't want to set yourself up. You don't want to let folks in. And it's more so of an accountability tactic if you do. But some folks are always like, no, I don't want to share my dreams with people. I just want to share my accomplishments. I want to share what I've already done. And so I think that's really special and important that you mentioned that. No, share it early. Share it when you have it. And you never know, you might be sitting next to someone who could be a thought partner with you, who can help you, or someone in your organization or around you that overhears that and says, okay, well, now I know where you're trying to go. And however I can help you, I can do that. It won't just be you trying to do these things on your own. So I really appreciate that.
Exactly.
We did get a question in the chat from Tara. Hey, Tara.
Hey, Tara.
Tara asks, what are you most passionate about as you step into this new role?
Yeah, thank you, Tara, for that question. A lot. I'm passionate about a lot, but I think more than anything, it would be service to a cause greater than self. That's one of our city year values. And from the first time I saw that in our Idealist handbook, so they used to give us a handbook with all of our values and culture pieces and history, is something about that. I think if I can attribute it to something, it would be how I was raised. So I was raised in a home that valued education, that valued service. And so I recall waking up Saturday mornings and accompanying my parents to a service project, cleaning a highway, beautifying a neighborhood. My brother was actually in a Young Heroes program, which is a program that was phased out of city year, but middle schoolers, and they would do service projects around Columbia and in other cities as well. But I share that to say this is in me. And so I think everything that encompasses service to a cause greater than self, our work with students, the relationship, people-focused work that we do, from our core members to me, having those intentional conversations with students, with parents, with school partners, with board members, with staff, with community members, and learning about how we can work in tandem with others to just cover our students and communities. That's what I'm passionate about. I am passionate about our AmeriCorps members who once again made the so important decision to serve. I mentioned that I started my city year journey in the schools, and it is something special about our AmeriCorps members who are 18 or 25 years old, and how they just come in from day one. And the students may give them a hard time at first, but when I think about the journey from day one to the last day of school, and how core members have literally built relationships with students like they had known them all their lives, and what that does for a student, and what that does for a teacher, and what that does for a community, that's what I'm passionate about.
Thank you, Robin. We've actually got another question. Yay. This question comes from Richard. And Richard wants to know, what inspired your move to Memphis to serve with the startup team?
Thank you, Richard. So when City Year Memphis was announced, I was in my second year with City Year Columbia and had reached my ceiling. There was no room for growth. So I could have done a third year, but I was just itching for something more, something different. And I'm also a free spirit. So I love to, I get my free time when I'm not the executive director for City Year Memphis. I'm likely taking some sort of road trip. And most recently I went to Tulsa just because it's driving distance, and why not? When you live in an area, explore. So when I saw that City Year Memphis was announced as a site, I applied, because why not? And I had never been here. I think the only place in Tennessee I had been before was Gatlinburg, and that was like back in elementary school years. So I don't even know if that counts. But I was excited for the opportunity to build something and to explore a new city. And Memphis was not at all what I imagined, but it has been everything I needed. It really has. And so I'm so excited and thankful that I made that decision, because it could have been any city, if I'm being honest. I had my eye on Miami. I had my eye on another site, but it was something about Memphis and being a part of the startup team that just did it for me. And I'm so thankful that I decided to apply and that they offered me the position.
Look at God, brought you right where you were supposed to be. There was lots of options, okay, hallelujah. But you ended up where you were supposed to be. So that's awesome. Also wanted to share that there is lots of love in the chat from Jakayla, Tisha, and Joy. Hey guys.
Hey y'all.
Yeah. Thank you guys always for joining us for Tuesday Talks and being so engaging. We always love having you guys with us. And let me check to see if we had any more. I see Richard is typing right now, but I'm not sure if he's sharing a message or not.
Richard is ready with the media team.
Richard is okay, media ministry. Tisha says, I'm so glad that you chose Memphis. Yes, Tisha, we all are. We agree with you. We are in concert and sharing the sentiment, okay? We are so happy that you ended up here in Memphis.
And before you move on, Brianna, I have to just acknowledge Tisha, City Year Memphis alum, Teacher of the Year. Hashtag come see why, because our core members, they do amazing work. They really do. And I mentioned this in my answer about what I'm passionate about. I am passionate about following our AmeriCorps members. A year of service is truly a game changer. And I'm not saying that it's because of City Year Memphis that Tisha went off to do amazing things, but we were a part of that journey. And I just want to congratulate Tisha on being very clear about her passions, pouring back into students. She is a gift, and really thankful that we get the opportunity to meet core members who go on to do amazing things. So a huge shout out to all City Year alum, but especially City Year Memphis alum.
And thank you, Robin, because that also gives me the opportunity to let the folks know that